So, all right, everybody, welcome to the third episode of the Two Guys and One RC Car podcast. It is a special episode tonight as we have our first official guest, Ron Zito, Dynatech RC Mods. How you doing tonight, Zito?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm always good.
Shit.
There you go.
Oh, anybody been doing anything RC related this week?
This week I've been pretty much just checking over the car from these last 2 weeks that I've been racing it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I know you've been doing a lot of racing lately.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Josh?
I have been working on getting the Outlaw car ready to make some test passes with.
Okay. You coming down anytime soon? We can do some testing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're thinking about coming down this weekend, but it's supposed to be raining and cold. So
I think we're just supposed to be raining Saturday, I think,
last I looked, it was Sunday too.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday's been in the toilet from what I've been seeing.
Oh, well, that's no good.
Yeah, I was trying for 3.
I haven't touched mine. I was supposed to go to Florida this weekend, and that got canceled. They canceled on my end, work related.
So the last time we were out, when I had the street eliminator out there, it's still sitting on the shelf with the broke axle.
Yeah,
I need to really do something with it.
that's mine. But my Slash, he's got the gear stripped on it still, and the other cars on the wall. It went crazy. We just blew the tire out.
Oh yeah.
That's the we'll get into it. Zito, tell us a little bit about your background. How'd you get into RC racing? And
so, as you know, as young as 13 years old, I always played around with the RCs. One of my first cars was a Kyosho Outrage ST. So that was the first one I had. Got up into my 16, 17 years old, and started drifting away from it at that point. And between 13 and 16, I started working with my father at his shop at the time. So this is now, long story short, coming up on a little over 28 years worth of automotive background, full performance, drag cars, full restorations, street cars, you name it. And then meeting a guy I actually worked with, decided one day that we were going to build these little 1/24 scales at work and race them at lunchtime. And hell, 30 years later, I'm back into it again. So here I am, back into the hobby. These last three years, I've been into the hobby pretty heavy here, making parts and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now you said automotive. I know one time you had a Love truck too, right? You drag racing.
Yeah, I still have my Chevy Love. I still have them. Of course, they're restored. The one is fully restored at this point, and it's actually been turned back into a regular truck. So
I was talking about a Love truck the other day with somebody and thought I was just making that name up.
Oh yeah, it was LUV was light utility vehicle.
Yep,
actually an actual truck.
Well, I know when I was younger, I say younger, we're not that much difference in age, but I know you and Eddie both had the Love trucks around noon, and that's what was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me and Eddie was the race to see on the weekends for sure.
Yep.
Who's gonna do what or who's gonna race this weekend is right. Many a nights I spent with Eddie. We had a good time back then.
Yeah, we go way back, me and Eddie. He's like a brother to us.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So do you still do any big car racing or just all little cars now?
After my big accident in 2014 with my Ford Falcon that I had down there at LaGrange, I really, and of course, having children and getting married all along the same time, since my children have been born, I haven't gotten back into a car as far as that type of drag racing. But I've still built plenty of cars for people and that sort of thing.
There you
So
go.
I've kind of, not that I won't get in one. I
Yeah.
just, it's my children and all that stuff. Family came and I just
Everything.
haven't gotten back in one. Yeah.
Yeah,
More important
everything.
things.
Everything changes at that point, don't it?
Yep, it sure does. It sure does. So
So
I picked it.
you you run down at the second to none stuff. How'd you get tied up with Rick and that whole group?
So was it 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Willie White, which is goes by BB, me,
Yeah.
BB, Eddie, and a whole group of people. We all raced down the streets together.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, BB popped off and said, "You know what? I'm gonna damn call Rick, and he's gonna come down here, and I'm gonna set a race up with you and Rick." And I had at the time I was messing around with the monster truck stuff, the 8 scale trucks, and I had a Kyosho Mag Crusher. And when me and Rick first met, it was a $40 bet, and BB bet that Rick couldn't outrun my Kyosho truck. And we've been, friends ever since. Friends, teammates, you name it, ever since.
Yeah.
So
I like Rick.
he actually ran out of gas the day that I beat him. So he set me out a couple car lengths with his rail, and he wound up running out of gas. So that was how I wound up winning that. It was a by default race, I call it.
Yeah, Rick's a real good guy. I've known Rick for 20 years probably. We started around this layer doing the RC stuff.
Yeah, see, and I had no idea. I knew Big Bobby since I moved to Newton in 99, 98.
Yeah.
And Big Bobby not once ever said one word to me about that y'all were doing that type of thing. I mean, I would have probably been down with it years ago had I known.
Yeah, Big Bobby's big into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Big Bobby, Eddie, all of us. Like as many a nights I was over at Big Bobby's shop, he was either helping him with his nitrous kit or he had some kind of piece or something he needed welded. I'd weld up for him at my place. So
yeah.
he was big into the bikes too. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, so I know now you are getting into the chassis manufacturing and a lot of the R&D type stuff. Is that something that you enjoy doing? I know you do a lot of your stuff is all one of a kind stuff.
yeah, so I'm into the specialty stuff. I'm into those the people that are looking for specialty parts,
Hmm.
specialty chassis plates. I am producing on a regular the Jado drag plates for the stock chassis replacement.
Okay.
So I do have these available in 3 millimeter and 4 millimeter.
Now those for the small block or big block?
So the 4 millimeter you'll run with the big block or small block, and then the small block I try to stick them with the 3 millimeter plate. So
Okay. Okay.
if they're going to stay with small block, we stay with the 3 millimeter plate. If they plan on going to a big block later on, I'll push towards the 4 millimeter plate.
There you go. Okay.
I also have the front wheel drive that I'm a little behind. It's supposed to be mid-November for a release, but this is the front wheel drive chassis plate for the Nitro.
Okay.
So I've got I've got a drag. Um, the drag bike, of course, is production. That's something that's readily available. The new end of the drag bike will be the Nitro version of the same thing. And right
Nitro
now,
bike.
yes, Nitro drag bike. So it's a Nitro, the same bike, and instead of being a brushless setup, it'll have a Nitro engine.
Okay.
So right now, I'm just trying to configure the weight,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to. I've got a clutch, a custom clutch. I'm trying to come up with because the way the bike needs to leave, the clutch needs to let the engine actually accelerate a lot faster than it would on anything else because you've got a delay of that bike sitting up straight with a Nitro engine sitting there vibrating. So little challenges with it. I got, like I said, I'm doing a lot of the specialty stuff. I've gotten a decent call here lately for reproduction Walburn chassis.
Yep.
I was
Plate.
just thinking that. I bet you could do a Walburn car.
So I've got the plates. I've got the engine mounts being made. I've got the original rear supports being made in billet instead of cast aluminum like they were originally.
Mm-hmm.
I've got billet ones being made, and I'm trying to incorporate the 2-speed and this plate all as one piece, so that it's not a separate unit where you have to have a brace like this one does.
Yeah.
It'll all be as one piece. So,
That's cool.
and then of course the 2-speed gears will be something that's readily available. I don't want to really say what I'm using for it just yet because there's a few people that's trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my gears will be something that is up to date. It'll be
Okay.
new stuff that's available to use instead of the old off the gears or serpent gears, which are, you got to wait months to get that stuff now.
Yeah.
That's just too funny though. I was literally the other day looking for Walburn stuff on eBay and thought, I wonder if Zito could just make these.
So I've got a few people that still have a lot of parts if you need them. They still have a lot of parts brand new in the bag, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
So if it's something that you're looking for or something you need made, let me know. I really haven't gotten too deep into the 3D printed parts yet. Just dealing with local people at that for right now. So,
Yeah.
But as far as the aluminum stuff goes, I've got a CNC guy that I'm dealing with on a regular now.
Okay.
I'll have output drive cups for your direct drives. I'll have wheel hubs here soon. So it's just a matter of mapping out the CAD files for all that stuff and getting them cut. So
Okay. So you're getting at everything then. If it's out there, yeah.
I'm probably getting into a lot of stuff that's a little bit deeper than I need to be doing because I've got 2 different businesses going on.
Yeah.
But there's a demand for these products, and it's not a large quantity demand, but it's enough to where if I kept 1,000 of them on hand, that they would sell within in a couple months time. So
Well, there's really only what 2 people doing the nitro drag stuff now. I mean, as far as the foam stuff, I know
so
Lupe just is bringing his back out.
so he's only, from what I've seen, he's only bringing the nitro rail stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the I don't even know if I got some here.
I was just thinking that though, like nobody really makes the nitro stuff anymore.
Yeah, so your funny car stuff, like your front end stuff and all. I've actually, this is an original,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is the reproduction,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
brand new. These are the rails. These are the rails that go in between the funny car.
Yeah.
So I got the original, and then this is the reproduction.
Well, the fun car is the bigger nitro class, so it's kind of odd to me
Yeah,
that
the
they
funny.
just.
So let me touch on that too. So your funny cars now are building up in popularity. They're buying them. They're buying them, and then they're changing the back plate for a bandit now, and they've got like your outlaw bandit classes. So all your funny car parts are electric and nitro are going towards your bandit outlaw classes now.
Yeah.
So there's even a bigger demand in those parts. So, and that's why we have a hard time getting parts for our nitro stuff because the electric guys share the same parts in the front end.
Yeah. Well, I know up at the Worlds, there was only like 2 or 3 of the rails, and there was a pretty good class of funny car and a pretty good class of the pro stocks.
Yeah.
But so I didn't understand why he put out the rail stuff again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the class is fading, but due to the parts.
Yep.
I see a lot of the direct drive stuff going away if the parts aren't there, and that's kind of why I wanted to step in have the drive cups, try to have the clutch set up. So I'm working like hell with this guy now to try to get this clutch setup done. I'm looking at even producing the flywheels and try to bring back the four-shoe stuff with a little modern, a little modernized stuff, a
Yeah.
little bit better design. Something that's you're able to add weight instead of just four individual shoes and one big shoe for your apply pad.
Oh yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff that you could do to that to make it engage even quicker. So
Oh,
right now it's just development. So
absolutely. And you're doing tires as well, right? Or getting in the tires.
yeah, I'm doing tires. I was dealing with Mike Smith for the longest time on the phone,
Mhm.
and I was refoaming everything. The stuff that I was ordering was twice the size of what the average person would order initially from Mike.
Yeah.
And the supply he was getting at the time, either he wasn't happy with it or he something had happened, and so that kind of fell through. So I wound up getting another direct supplier from the manufacturer. So
Okay.
that stuff will be out before long too.
Okay.
So
it's gonna be a busy.
Most of the tires we're running now is all the experimental stuff. So
Yeah.
just
It's gonna be
sit tight.
a busy
Huh?
first of the year for you.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. The tires is a big thing, and the parts are a big thing. So, and the JATO and the Fortec guys have been hitting me up. I'm selling anywhere between 3 and 4 plates a week between JATO and the Nitro Fortec guys. So,
Oh wow.
Hanny out there in California. He's actually one or two of those videos that I've shared. He's all the way out in California. He actually bought my whole kit, which is the upper shock supports, the upper plate, and the lower plate. So he bought the whole kit from me.
Well, that was the Fortec you posted a while back.
Yeah, and he just ordered a wheelie bar the other day for the same car. So I'm getting busy. I'm definitely getting busy with that end. So,
That's a good thing.
yeah. I mean, I enjoy it, and then, and now that it's kind of cooled down where I'm not running the track with Rick. Making sure the sensors stay up and all. I'm not running around doing that. I've actually gotten involved with these last couple street races we've had. So
yeah, we're about to get into that.
Yeah.
So I know the past few weeks the racetrack down there, y'all had a big JATO turnout.
Yeah,
And I know JATO's are big around here.
Yeah, it's definitely big on the. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was on the East Coast for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to tell us about the races of the past few weeks?
So the past 2 weeks, the races have been pretty much a free for all.
Yeah.
Of course, the standard rules apply. You jump, you lose. You cross, you lose. And then they didn't want it to where a race is a chase is a race.
Yeah.
So we just left that. You cross first, you lost. So, and we've had a good time with it. We've actually had a real good time with it. Real good turnout with it. 10 plus people every time we run. So, but yeah, it's been good. It's been good. They let anybody in, a small block, big block, and it's fight to the finish. So.
And no timing system, no timing system, no lights.
No timing system. Just a guy at the top end with a camera rolling, and our camera rolling on the table there, like always. So
there you go.
It's as fair as it can. It's a street race. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I came out a couple weeks ago to it, and I watched it. I know you had a good day that day.
Yeah. I was doing that day. You come down. I wound up. That was one of the weekends I wound up winning.
Yep.
And I had, everybody has issues. Temperature changing. Of course we weren't prepping it. I wasn't running into prep on the track. The idea was to get these tires to hook on a non-prep surface.
Mhm.
So, and for the last 2 weeks, I've been running outside. If you watch the videos, I've been running on the outside. I haven't been running in the prep like I normally do.
Yeah.
So that's been the big test. So, and this past weekend, I had issues in test and tune. I wound up breaking a shock on the front during test and tune, rebuilt the left front of the car,
Mhm.
put it all back together, got it somewhat dialed in, wound up buying back in, and then after buying back in, I bought, I got the buyback. I won the buyback, and then it was just racing from then on out. The remaining crew, so and wound up pulling through at the end of the day. So it was really,
Okay.
I had to fight this past week. I had to fight the car to get it close enough to where it would at least track straight after the wreck, and still wound up winning the race. So it
There
was
you go.
good. It was good.
A good 2 weekends then.
Yeah, yeah. You know how it is. You fight all the way through the day and still come out ahead of everything. It's definitely an accomplishment for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, the I know this year we had a couple of races out there. Any big races coming up for plans for next year?
Yeah, of course, we try to attend the guys that normally race with us, including you. We try to attend the IMDRA because that's always been a big thing to everybody. Is the
Yeah.
IMDRA races. So our crew, me, Rick, and Pee Wee, second to none crew, always try to go and base off of in between their schedule, so that not only we can attend theirs, but they can attend ours, and we don't interfere with their races. So
There
that's
you
going to be the big thing. We do have stuff coming up. Um, it'll probably be an icebreaker like we did last year. Same thing. It'll be an icebreaker race, that type of deal. And then we'll get started into running again. So, but for right now, it's just a weekend type thing. If the weather's nice, we're out there type thing. Right
Yeah.
now.
That's one thing that when I started back, I was glad to see that. I mean, pretty much every Sunday you can plan on somebody being out there.
Yeah, if the weather's nice, we're there. If we're not there, one of five of us will be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Somebody's gonna be there.
yeah, somebody's going to be there. Is right. Is right. That's what's nice about the track. It's local. It's always open. Every Sunday, Saturday. If the weather's nice, we're there. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have something that close.
yeah, yeah. It's when I met up with Rick and them, I had no idea until they introduced me into everything.
Yeah.
So
Um Now you also last year you had the monster truck race, the Low C Crush Fest, I believe it's
yes,
called, right?
yeah,
You,
and I plan on doing something like that again this year coming up.
mhm.
And I may do a mix because I had a big call for like your T Max class,
Mhm.
and then like your Kyosho Nitro and electric
Mhm.
guys. I had a big call for that, and I don't have Hemansky Hobbies anymore, which
Yeah.
was which was a big plus during that race to have. He gave us a lot of support. We were able to get a lot of sponsors for that race, so I got to kind of touch base again with those individuals to see if that's going to be possible to have a big sponsorship like we did the last time. If not, I'll probably do just like I always do with Rick and Pee Wee. We'll pick a month. We'll set it up, and then either we'll do a drag race, monster truck race, or we'll do an actual course race, and then have it available to electric and nitro, so that
Okay.
nobody's left out. So I
I've
would really like to see some of those primals out.
yeah.
Supposedly there's two in the Atlanta area, but it's always a shot. So
Is that the big fifth scale truck?
yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, the $3,000 or $4,000 deal they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely something. Kevin Hermansky, he had one in the store and sold it before I could get a chance to even then.
I just finished to say, I remember seeing one of Hermansky's when they
Yeah,
first
look at
came
it.
out.
Look at it good. So, yep. Yep. Yeah, I try to touch into everything. So,
Yeah.
the monster trucks, the nitro, the electric, the rubber tire street eliminators. I'm actually looking forward, while we're talking about tires and different classes, I'm actually looking forward to those new rubber tires that they have for the direct drives.
I was just about to bring that up.
So I'm definitely looking into that. I would really like to see the compound for sure, because
I
weight's
know
going to be a big.
They were testing them a couple weeks ago in Ocala.
Yeah.
And I was going to try to talk to some people. I know people down there, and I talk to you pretty regularly. I just hadn't thought about it, to be honest with you. But I know that I don't know how that's going to work. I mean,
okay, so if it holds air in any type of way and is light, I think it would be okay. A solid piece of rubber that's soft, I'd definitely have to see that. So now, not saying that it's a bad thing with it being heavy, because to an extent it would be okay, but that your gears now at the power that we're putting at it with the electric and the nitro, you get 4 or 5 hard passes out of it. If it's dead hooks, it's taking a gear out.
Yeah.
I don't care how tight you have the mesh. It's gonna if it's stuck there on the ground and won't move, it's breaking something. So.
Well, I kind of wonder if it's going to be like the oval, back in, well, they still do the cap tires and the oval.
I was just sitting there thinking about the cap tires. That would be kind of fun. That's what I was picturing in my head, is like you hit the trigger and it spin around.
Yeah.
Like the cap tires on takeoff.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know, what is it? CRC?
Yeah.
CRC does the Formula One tires still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they do a oval track tire or a dirt track CRC dirt track tire that's rubber.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
And it's based along the size of that DE wheel.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to see that. So
tires are ridiculous in any of the drag stuff, especially the street eliminator stuff.
Well, right now you got such a big, if you could, right now, the way the market's working, if you got a rubber tire that could replace the foam issue, that's great. Mm-hmm. But if the rubber tire doesn't bite like the foam, or the rubber tire tears up too much stuff because it's too heavy, then you're back to the same thing again.
Yep.
So I would think that a zero balanced air tire type deal,
mm-hmm.
with maybe a thin piece of foam at that size would be like, it would probably work. I see it. It would definitely work. So
yeah, it had to be a belted tire for sure.
Yeah, because even like with the drag bike, the drag bike, it could run a DE rubber tire on it, but the DEs aren't belted. So the one that I did try on it, all it did was hit the body standoffs. Yeah. So I mean, you got to, if it flexes, it's over with.
Yep.
Especially at our speeds.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so we talked about your chassis stuff. Let's talk about the little Pro Stock Jado everybody's crazy about.
All right.
I know you've been doing a lot of testing on it.
Yep.
And it's a big block, correct?
It's a small block. It's a small block. I've tested it with both the small block, the factory Traxxas 3.3 that's been fully modded, mm-hmm. one of the engines that I produce, and I've mm-hmm. also tested it with your entry level Dynamite, which replaces the 3.3. At most of your hobby stores, they'll put that Dynamite 19. So, and I've modified both. So.
And it's a short wheelbase. It's shorter than the Jado wheelbase, correct?
It's a Pro Stock. It's 10 and a half.
10 and a half. Okay. And it's a handful.
It's a handful. It has to be on a prep track, just like any pro stock would be, or a Walburn, 10.5 wheelbase.
Yeah.
It's share it. As far as the suspension goes on it, the rear suspension is locked.
Okay.
I do run like your old bolt link type spring on the front.
Okay.
To give the chassis somewhat of suspension on the front for the steering, because one, it is so lightweight, and two, the chassis being as thin as it is, it definitely needs some kind of cushion up front. So
now is that a one of a kind, or have you sold some other kits of those?
I've sold 4 of those here in the last month.
Okay.
Yeah,
So a little class coming in.
Yeah, I've sold 4 in the last month.
Okay.
The front end is RJ Speed based,
Okay.
and the idea behind it is 80% of your hobby stores carry RJ Speed parts.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty
So
much the same as like the Legends card all too, I think, right?
yeah, same thing. The only thing that's different between mine and the RJ Speed is I've taken that RJ Speed support plate and made it 2mm carbon fiber instead of the
A little
fiberglass
GTM.
board that they use.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And you mentioned your motors. You're doing you're modding the motors also, correct?
Yeah, yeah. One of many things that
Mhm.
I can't see. And I hate to say that I do it all, but if somebody needs something, I can help them out with anything. So I
Yeah.
do engines. I do full scale size engines, $40,000-$50,000 plus engines, all the way down to $700 and $300 engines. So modifications. So yeah, it's definitely a big window of stuff that I'm able to do.
There you
So,
go.
and like we said with the racing before, normally I don't get in on the races just because I get that, oh well, he does all his own stuff anyway type thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's hard. It's hard to race and put on a race. To put on a race
it
and
is,
race.
it is, it is, and I've stayed out of the races because I don't want um I don't want any conflict. Well, he runs the track, he's gonna win the race type thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Yeah.
there, you always got that one or two that makes a comment like that, and I stay out of it. So
Yeah.
when we're throwing a race, it's for the racers. So
Now there was, well, I know like the Misfits was coming down a good bit. I know the MPK crew comes down a good bit. So I
yeah,
mean it's a fairly it's a good crowd that comes down on a regular basis to around here.
yeah, yeah. This year, I think our biggest turnout was Beard King out of Atlanta.
I forgot about Barry
Uh,
King, yeah.
when he did the 1/16 scale, 1/8 scale shootout
Mhm.
with all the guys from Florida and um, what was his name? It was Chris, I think, out of Florida.
Okay.
Big Chris out of Florida. And
I
you
think I
had
was somewhere else from that race. I
yeah,
didn't
you
make it
had
to
we
that one.
had there was a couple guys from New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, and I want to say maybe one or two from Tennessee. But it was a big it was I don't ever get the chance to meet everybody that's out there,
Hmm.
uh, and I don't get a chance to really get to meet everybody. But after seeing them a couple times, there's a few guys that I'll talk to on a regular that I've seen at a couple of the events. So
I mean, most everybody in the hobby is a great group of guys.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you got you a few bad seeds every once in a while, but that's to be expected.
Yeah,
That's with everything.
and that's with anything. Like anybody can have, you could have the whole track set up, everybody's having a good time, and one thing goes wrong, and the whole thing stirs out of control. I mean, it happens. It
Yeah,
happens, and you got to
that's
do the best.
racing. I mean, that's
It's racing, and you do the best you can to make everybody happy with
but
what you got.
but you
So
can't make everybody happy.
yeah, yeah, you could try, but
Yeah.
so.
So so what else? I mean, anything else you want to talk about as far as the hobby or the area, the racing, anything?
Well, I have this conversion for
What is
your
that?
TRX 4M.
Okay,
This is a chassis plates that I sell.
okay. And that's
We'll be
that's for
selling.
the little TRX for the little
This is a TRX 4M.
the little 20, was it 20? What scale is it?
125th scale 4-wheel drive truck. Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of a TRX 4 full size 10th scale, it's the mini version of the TRX 4M.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Okay.
and I have high output motors for those. The aftermarket ESCs that I can set the people up with, and of course the larger shocks if they're looking for a longer diameter shock.
So that's basically you converted the rock crawler to a monster truck.
Yeah, and then we're using the J Concept
Hmm.
monster truck tires
I like those tires.
with the standard TRX 4 axles. So
Okay.
they fit right on. So it does pretty good. And then this was actually from my son. Of course, it lifts up, but I made it to where your store bought the store bought Monster Jam trucks.
No, yeah.
You can take the body from them and put them right on
Oh,
the chassis. So
cool. Perfect.
it is a metal body too, so it gives it a little weight to stay stable. So something else I do.
There you go. Hey, now you mentioned your son. Is he wanting to get into it now, or is he?
So I don't know if you remember the last couple of times I've had him out running the drag bike.
Mm-hmm.
So he likes the drag bike. He likes the monster truck stuff. So I've just kind of let him decide this. Uh, I've got all kinds of stuff here that he could play with at any time. And between the drag bike and the monster trucks, he's pretty much stayed between. Um,
How old is
the
he?
He's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 4.
I know. Now, the few times I've seen him with the drag bike, he does a real good job.
Yeah. I mean, and at the time, he was only 3
Mm-hmm.
when he first started running it. So, and this last year, I don't know if you remember me, even with the street eliminator, I had him trying to drive the street eliminator.
Oh yeah.
I kept turning the street eliminator's percentage up a little bit at a time, until he gets comfortable with it. So, and he's gotten a lot better with it here lately. So,
Okay.
but
So
yeah.
what about? I know you talking about racing and the grudge racing. Is there a big rivalry somewhere with Zito or somebody?
I have Brandon Mitchell.
Okay.
Me and him are pretty much 1-for-1 right now. I got him week before last, and he got me this weekend.
With the Jados, right?
With the Jado. He's this upcoming race. He's wanting to do a big block street eliminator versus a big block street eliminator. And that would be the way I would rather have it. I don't really like running my big block against a small block, but there are some small blocks out there that will run just as hard and just as fast as a big block, and
For
we've
sure.
proven that time and time again. So that's what I've been working on this week, is getting the car fixed after the accident from that race again, and get it dialed in so that me and him have a heads up street eliminator wheelbase Jado for Jado. He's got the same thing, so we're going to go at it again.
There you go.
The car's consistent. The best time I've got out of it was a 1.9. The average time is a 2.02. So I can't complain. That's hauling butt for a car that's probably close to 4 pounds. So
What's the fast time for a Jado now?
I think the record is a 1.7, but don't hold me to that.
Okay.
1.7 was the fastest time that's been out there. It may have been a little bit faster than that, but I think a
That's
1.7, 1.8 is like
that's moving for a Jado.
that's moving. That's
That's
moving.
moving for anything.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. And those times I believe were set with the chassis that I was telling you, with like a funny car base chassis.
Okay.
The only thing
Yeah.
Jado about it was the back half.
That's
So
what I got over here. So
yeah, that it maintained the Jado gearbox. That's it.
yeah,
So,
that's what I got. I took parts from one of my pro mods and made a new chassis plate, and that's what I done for it.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it works, but that's strictly outlaw.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
street eliminator Jados, they stick to the bandit rustler slash type front end.
yeah.
So that's the only difference with them, and they're what, an inch and a half longer than
Something
standard
like that. Yeah.
boys.
I want to say it's like four. I want to say it's 14, 13,
Yeah.
14,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah, 13. I've seen them at 13.5, and I've seen them at 14 for the street eliminator. So
If we chop this little section out, that's gonna sound horrible.
what's that?
Oh, 13, 14.
Oh yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to get in touch with you and buy something, how do they get in touch with you?
They can send me a message on Facebook, direct message me, Dynatech RC. I believe my phone number is on there also, 8989. It should be on there. If it's
Okay.
not, they can message me, like I said, direct, and I usually answer within a couple hours. So I'm always online. I'm always talking to somebody throughout the United States about something or some part. So
Okay. And you said like the JADO stuff you keep in stock, the JADO chassis?
yeah,
Maybe.
the Jado drag plate for your stock replacement chat. This replaces the blue chassis. Everything bolts on this plate that it did originally. The engine transmission brace bolts on this plate. The battery tray, everything still bolts back onto this plate. It's just the bare minimal.
Okay.
So,
Well, what about
and
that's the front end? That's the front end on the top you got there?
yeah, this is the front end.
Okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's the
So
front end.
what does something like that sell for? Just somebody's gonna come buy it from you.
Just the 3 millimeter plates I sell for $80.
Okay.
The 4 millimeter plates I sell for $100.
No, you can't beat that at
And
all.
then and then just the shipping on it, which is like what, 18 or $19 it is now. They went up, whatever that is.
Yeah. The
So
post office.
yeah, well, we won't talk about the post office. That's something else I do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see how you do it because every time I talk to you, you're either working on RC cars or doing
Yep.
something.
Yeah, either some of them videos I put up online where I'm, talking about the track or whatever. So in the background is actually that's my shop that's in the background. So
Is that your shop at home or is that the shop the workshop
that's the shop in Noonan.
in
Yeah.
Noonan? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
Um,
yep, little bit of everything. So all types of stuff in the works. If anybody's got any questions or looking for custom parts, if I can't do it, I will find that individual that can.
okay.
So I'm that type of person where no matter what, if you need something, either I can build it or make it, or I've got somebody that can, or I can direct you to that individual.
And you have a YouTube channel too, right?
I've got the YouTube channel, which is RC Mods
RC
also.
Mods. And your
Um,
Facebook is Dynatech RC.
Facebook is Dynatech RC. Instagram would not let me change the name for whatever.
Yeah.
I initially started it off as RC Mods, so I've pretty much just rolled with RC Mods, Dynatech RC, or Dynatech RC, RC Mods. I'm the same person. So
And Dynatech was your big car shop too, right?
Dynatech Automotive and Performance is the big shop, and there's a
Okay.
Facebook page for it also.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight, Zito. We had a good
Oh yeah,
time.
no,
It's been a really good time.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. Definitely, it's
Yeah,
always
we're gonna get.
It's always good seeing you guys out there. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Rick, maybe Pee Wee coming on here one week too. That should be interesting.
yeah, I told him about it. I told him about it tonight. So you guys
I'll get
definitely
it.
need to. We
I'll get
might
it out
even.
tomorrow. I gotta edit some few things down and get it out. I'll get it posted online tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
always it's a big group, and the whole idea behind this is to keep it going and have the support behind it. So
Yeah, man, that's what we've done
Without-
this to kind of help the smaller tracks, and this kind of help.
yeah,
with
without
stuff, so.
without the small parts and pieces that these guys need to even like restore some of the old stuff, like it'll die out if these guys don't keep going. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of cars that I've seen that haven't even been run in 20 years, and they need a part, and the thing is brand new. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get into it. So
Yeah.
I try to help out the best I can anyway.
Well, like I said, we thank you again, and we won't keep you no longer. We'll
Oh yeah.
we'll see you this weekend if it ain't raining.
All right, man.
You still there, Josh?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was really good. That could wind up being the best one yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just
So-
took somebody that wasn't us.
Yeah. So we'll finish out. We'll talk about what's going on in the RC world there. So I know I texted you when I read it that the rcdrl is doing their national point series next year. I am super excited about that. There will be 2 races in Ocala,
And 2
I
in
believe
Texas, isn't it?
in February and in April. And there will be 2 races in Texas, I think in July, and the Super Nationals in October. You have to travel to one of the events. Like if you race in Florida normally, you have to go to one of the Texas events. And you can drop 1 race. There will be, I think I read 11 classes. So that is like, I mean, I'm ready for that. I know we can do both the Florida races.
Yeah, the Florida
know I
ones are the
can do
pretty
the-
easy ones.
Huh?
The Florida ones are the pretty easy ones to do. The Texas.
I don't know that I can do both the Texas races. I for sure want to do the supers. So, I mean, right now, I mean, I've already booked hotels for Florida for next year, for February and for April. I haven't booked them for Texas yet. So I booked them for Florida and for the first 2. I think it's Winter Nationals and the Gator Nationals is what those 2 are called. But that just made that made me excited when I heard that.
That was some exciting news to hear.
There is of course there are the flyer, the initial flyer is on their website, their Facebook page, of course. And there will be 2
pretty
races
sure I don't
hold me to this.
Texas.
I'm pretty sure the NPRC will be in July and the Super Nationals in October, which that's big for the sport. You have to
That's the ones that covered the Gators this year, wasn't it?
travel
The Gators and the
to
World,
one of the events.
all the big no prep
Like
races.
if you race in Florida,
I just knew the
normally,
Gators because you was
you
at
have to
that
go to
one,
one of
so.
the Texas
Yeah.
events,
Billy Shaw does an incredible
and
job.
you can
of that.
drop.
It was
1
so
race.
good. I mean, it's almost better
There will
than
be, I think,
whatever.
everyone he does gets better and better. I do believe so. That is like, I mean, I'm ready for that. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't make it down to Ocala this weekend. I know we can do both but we are going to go for December no matter what.
Yeah, the Florida ones are the pretty
finish out
easy
the year
ones.
strong. We got to get tested next
The
year.
Florida ones are the pretty easy ones to do.
We
The
gotta do
Texas.
I don't know that I can do both the Texas races, but I for sure want to do the supers.
And there's also, there's that
right
big,
now. I mean, I've
tire
already
race
booked
coming up
hotels
Warner
for
Robins.
Florida
I'm on the fence about
for
it.
next year, for February and for April.
And then they also announced, speaking of Warner Robins, I don't know if you've seen this or not.
I haven't booked them for Texas.
They
yet,
announced
I booked them
their,
for Florida.
I think they call it
and
Outlaw
for
Armageddon. The first 2.
I think what they're calling it.
I don't think I've seen this
Winter
yet.
Nationals and the Gator
10,000
Nationals
guaranteed to win.
is what those 2 are called. I'm trying to remember the dates on it. But let's see. That is that just made that made me excited when I heard that.
That was some exciting news to hear.
There is, of course, there are the flyer. The initial flyer is on their website, their Facebook. The Dry Tire Hootenanny is what they're calling it in December. It's December 15th and 16th. I'm pretty sure. I don't hold me to this. I'm pretty sure the NPRC will be covering the Armageddon. Them will be March 21st. That's big for the through the 23rd.
I mean, that's the ones that covered the Gators this year, wasn't it?
The Gators and the 10,000. All the big no prep races.
I just knew the Gators because you was at that one.
It is sponsored by presented by Billy Shaw does an incredible job with that.
It was so good. I mean, it's almost
so that's a big thing.
Being on whatever.
Everyone he does gets better and better. I do believe. Payouts. Unfortunately, we can't make it down to Ocala this weekend. With the six, it sucks. It's not guaranteed. We are going to go for December no matter what. Big dog out the year strong. We got to get tested next year. But 10,000 is what they're advertising. Testing. But there'll be 65 cars there.
Oh yeah.
But they are running Renegade, and there's also there's that big tire Pro Stock, which is dry tire race coming up in Warner Robins. I'm on the fence about it. Is the no bar stuff, and then they also announced. Speaking of Warner Robins, I don't know if you've seen this or not. They announced their, of course, Big Dog. I think they call it Outlaw. Big Dog Outlaw. I think that's what they're calling it.
I don't think I've seen this. I think I ask this every time, but they're the VXL guaranteed to win. The Pro Mod bodies, right?
It is. I think they still have to be cut on the body line. So I'm not positive on like the LS22s. I've got one kind of mind. I'm not 100% sure it's legal. Let's see. It might have to be like the GTR or like the dry tire vet is what they're calling it, or Sharp Bodies has got a vet. It's December 15th. That is made for that. 16th. It looks really good. And the Armageddon. Will be March 21st. And it's through the 23rd. The VXL, you can change, you can swap manufacturers. I believe it's 10,000 stock. 10,000 guaranteed to win the shock towers. Any shock. It is sponsored by, presented by Drag Illustrated Magazine. Any wheelie bar.
I hadn't heard that name in a while.
So that's a big thing. But yeah. Let's see. Excuse me, past my bedtime. Looking for the payouts. $10,000 purse. Big races with a six. Of course, I'm still. It's not guaranteed. I've got my room booked with Snowbird just in case. Big dog entry.
You are the room booking person.
But 10,000 is what I get points. I get points. But there'll be 65 cars there.
Oh yeah.
They are running Renegade. Mud Boss car on the wall over here, which is dry tire, Pro Stock.
Mud Boss car looks
good.
The
VXL. Yeah. Pro Street, which I believe is Raptor RC no bar stuff. He does a real good job, real fast. And Top Sport can do all the and of course Big Dog replica cars or anything custom you want.
I think I asked this every time.
Raptor RC on Facebook.
VXL down there,
not sponsored by him.
Pro Mod bodies, right?
But he does good work. I think they still have to be cut on the body line. Trying to think of what else. So I'm not positive on like they haven't announced classes LS22s. But I've got one spoke to them the other day. Sure it's legal. Mud Boss is 100% going to be there. It might have to be like the GTR or like the Bush cars,
the
P7 vet. Bush or Sharp Bodies got a vet. They say it that is made for that. He said he's pretty sure. So I'm assuming it looks really probably a good chance. 99.9% they're going to be there. But and if I go, that's what I'll run that. And I'll run the VXL. You can change. You can swap.
I like the Bush cars. I've liked them ever since they came out. That whole class.
I mean, it's a stick pack and it's any shock. Shock.
It's still stick pack.
Stock shock towers. That's the Duratrax motor. Duratrax stick pack. But yeah, just like those spec cars. Excuse me, past my bedtime.
For some reason, I was thinking it was like a 21.5 or a 17.5 or something like that.
That's as far as big races. Handout motors. Of course, I'm still. It was last year. I've got my room booked with Snowbird just in case.
You are the room bookingest person.
But yeah, I mean that's. I get points. I get points. The races are starting to fall in for next year. Starting to get the race. I've got my. So Mud Boss car. 100% will be in Ocala and
Mud Boss car look good too.
We'll be in Ocala in April. We'll be in Texas in October. Raptor RC did the rap. He does a probably good chance I'll be
real
running
fast.
one Robbins race in
He
March.
can do all the
When I say March, replica
Um,
cars. or
That one
anything
does
customer
sound
wants.
pretty intriguing.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Raptor RC on Facebook. Not sponsored by him by no means, but he does good work. Snowbird is a possibility.
trying to think of what else.
Other than that, I mean,
They haven't
as
announced
the races
classes
come
yet.
in. I can't, but I spoke to
Take,
them the other day.
all
Mud
the
Boss
days
is
off. I
100%
can
going
take
to be there. Day off here and day off there.
Um,
The Bush cars,
I don't mind.
I don't mind
on
driving
the
down
Bush Facebook
Friday,
page. They say
I'm off on Fridays.
and he
most
said
of the
he's
time.
pretty sure. So I mean, I'm
If
saying
the Monday's what kills
probably
me.
good chance. 99.9%.
Oh, that Monday was so rough last time.
And if I go, that's what I'll run that, and I'll run Mud Boss.
I like the Bush cars.
Did
I've
you
liked
see?
them ever since
You
they
know,
came
SEMA
out
was
that
last
old
week.
class.
I mean, it's a stick pack,
big
and
car
it's,
SEMA, the car
you
SEMA.
know,
Yeah,
you
but
ain't
it's
gotta
still
have
stick
all. You
pack.
see the associated.
Yep.
What they put out there. That's the Duratrax.
I did not.
Duratrax motor, Duratrax. You need to look at this when you get off. Stick pack. RC10, just like those spec cars. What do they call it? RC10. It's got
For
it's
some
gotta be
reason, I was
clear.
thinking it was like a
They call it.
21.5 or a 17.5
It
or
was
something
a
like that.
RC10, original
Handout
RC10. It was last year, handout.
I'm sure it will be.
Unanodized.
It's always has been.
So it's bare aluminum. Everything on it was like clear. But yeah, I mean that's
It
like
was cool.
next year. The
I'm about
races
to
are
look
starting
that
to
up.
fall in for next year. Starting to get the race schedule
Very
set.
cool.
I mean, so
Speaking of
we know
SEMA,
100% we'll be in.
This isn't really
Ocala in
related to
February.
anything we've been
We'll be in
talking about
Ocala
all
in
night,
April.
but
We'll be in Texas in
I
October.
really want. I think Red Cat makes them both.
Probably a good chance I'll be running one
that
Robbins race
ramp
in
truck,
March.
the old like cabo
When I
ramp
say
truck.
March, yeah, I think that.
And that one does sound pretty intriguing. 64 lowrider they got with the working hydraulics.
Those things are badass. I've seen those in person. I haven't seen the ramp. I've seen the ramp truck. Snowbird is a possibility. The ramp truck on the computer, but those lowriders. Other than that, I mean, as the races come in, stickers from them. I can't.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does it. Take a ton of stickers from them. Like
all
they
the days off.
customize
I
the
can
sticker.
take
They
day
put
off,
the
day
little
off here and
the
day off
little
there.
speaker stickers in it, and
Oh, I'm
Clay
sure.
does all that.
Yeah, I was just watching a donut video.
I don't mind driving down
They
on
was playing
Friday.
with one of them on there.
I'm off on Fridays most of the time. Clay does all that. The Monday's what kills me. But,
Oh, that.
is there anything else we need to talk about? You want to talk about?
Yeah. I think I'm good.
Well, oh, I know it's been kind of all over the place tonight. We had SEMA was last week. That was good. I'm glad we had his guest on Big Car SEMA, the car show.
That was yeah.
Did you see the associated?
That was a good
one. Well, they put a lot of good information.
I did
He's a
not.
good guy. He does a lot of stuff. You need to look at this when you get off. RC stuff around here. RC10. What do they call it? All right. I guess we'll do
that nitro drag bike. That just sounds
clear. I think that's what they call it.
Like something really.
It was
wild.
a RC10. Yeah. Original
I'm
RC10.
surprised the drag bikes are not bigger than they are.
I am too, honestly.
So
especially out here, the real drag bikes are
everything
pretty
on
big.
it was like Zito makes the one, and they got the one comes out of Australia.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
And there's there's been another company that made them. Very cool. I mean, and at one time,
Speaking of
rcdrl
SEMA,
had a class.
This isn't really related to
did
anything we've been talking about all night, but
yeah, they had a class at one time.
I really want.
They ran one sale.
I think Red Cat makes
two.
them
I think he ran three at one time.
That ramp truck.
I know his run like 160 or
ramp
something.
truck.
Yeah, around there. I think that. The two
and that 64 lowrider they got with the working hydraulics.
Anyway, those things are badass. I don't know that we'll get a next one done, but I haven't seen the ramp. I've seen the ramp truck on. We'll see how it goes. The
ramp truck. Anything exciting comes out in the news.
But those lowriders,
definitely.
Clay does all the stickers for them.
Well, I keep thinking of something else I was bring up. I can't think
of a ton of stickers for them. Like they customize the sticker. They put the little
points thing was the biggest thing.
Speaker stickers in it, and
I'm sure
Clay does all that.
I was just watching a donut video before we came on, and they was playing with one of them.
They had that. Clay does all that. They had that race. Is there anything else we need to talk about? You want to talk about? It's been a few weeks ago now. The big race.
I think I'm good.
And we're gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna. I know it's been kind of all over the place tonight. We had Zito by no means. That was good. I'm glad we had his. But
I'm really glad we had him on. That was
apparently they had rain overnight.
That was a good one.
A lot of good information. Zito's a good guy. He does a lot of stuff for the RC stuff around here. Apparently Saturday morning, I guess during the night, the tree
that,
got wet.
that nitro drag bike, that just sounds
smoke. Literally caught on fire.
like something really wild. Yeah, that's what I kind of understood. It actually went from flames.
I'm surprised the drag bikes are not bigger than they are. I wasn't there. This is awful what I've been hearing and what I've seen.
Yeah, especially down here, the real drag bikes are pretty big.
Zito makes some one,
in the field.
They got the one comes out of Australia. And I guess they couldn't do qualifying. I mean, and at one time, the rcdrl had a
so they did.
I guess it's like a test round, and they used reaction time because they can get a reaction time. One cell. I don't know how Zito's got 2, and I think he had ran 3. And that's how they determined who got the top qualifier prizes. But I mean, I know his run like 160 or something. So it don't matter with them. The two they changed this, but even after qualifying before, they didn't do ladders. Anyway, they still did chip drive. I don't know that we'll get a next one done by Thanksgiving or not. They've changed that coming up. Anyway, I guess a little slow right now.
During the race, comes out in the news
several times. Yeah. Definitely, we're going to have to hit that. There was something else I was going to bring up, but I can't think of what it was. And Gary said before, I guess Gary said the points thing was the biggest thing. If you get a green light, you win. Oh, if you get a red light, you red light it. They had that. Race at Warner Robins. There's several videos. A few weeks ago now. Several races and videos.
Yeah.
Supporting. Where we're going to talk about this. I'm not going to bash people left before by no means. The green light came on. But apparently, they had rain overnight, Friday night. So it rained out the 4 activities per what was discussed in the Saturday morning. I guess that during the night the tree got wet. And I guess it happened and literally caught on fire. Deep in the rounds, maybe the finals.
That's what I kind of understood. It actually went from flames.
And there was a lot of I wasn't there. This is awful what I've been hearing and what I've seen and everything. And like I said in the video, you can see, you can clearly see. I guess one car they couldn't do qualifying before the green light come on. You can clearly see he jumped the light.
Pretty obvious.
They did. Did you see it? I guess it's like a test round.
I think I saw that.
They use reaction times because they can get a reaction time still. I don't know how that, and that's how they determined who got the top qualifier prizes by what was discussed in the drivers' meeting. So it don't matter with them. He said they changed it because in even after qualifying before they didn't do ladders. Coverage. They still did. You hear Gary plain as day. They've changed that coming up. Anyway, I guess you get a green light. Race, it is good several times. If you get a red light, you red light it. But if you get a green light, it is good. The first one to the end of the track wins. And Gary said before, so I guess Gary said that there again, if you get a green light before, you win. If you get a red light, you red light it. I see both sides. Of course, I mean, if it was me and I lost, if somebody jumped the gun, I'd be mad. There's several videos,
fired up.
There's several races and videos. Everybody agreed on it. Where you knew
going in, it also got that outside that crazy circumstance for everything gets knocked out, so they're just
but it did not
trying to do what they can to save the weekend.
And that's exactly what he said. Therefore, he could have just what was discussed in the canceled that race. That person won. He had people from all around, from New York coming down. I guess it happened Miami, deep in the rounds, maybe canceled that race. And there was a lot of.
But he let him run, and I can definitely give him that.
I mean, said people, kudos to him. You can, like we was talking about in the video, you can clearly see now one car leaving before the green light. Will it hurt? You can clearly see he jumped the light.
Pretty obvious.
I think it probably will.
Did you see it? Will. I think I saw that one. Yeah.
I looked today. Pre-registration for like the hootenannies, but not that many people. And the last race is what was discussed in the driver meeting, and what he said. And that's not his control. He could have coverage. Said everybody home.
He could have said, "All right, just cancel, go home." And he said, "Let's get it in anyway."
He bought if he had somebody get a green light, it is good. Computer or something. You get a red light, you drive down to Warner Robins. Green light, it is good. The first one to try to make it work, but it wasn't compatible or something. So you can't be mad there again. Before, but like I said, on the other end.
if that happened to me, I'd be pissed.
Oh, exactly. If it
I
was
see
me
both
and
sides.
I just got beat on that, I mean,
Of course, I mean, if it was me, and
especially
I lost,
when the
somebody jumped
video
the gun, I'd be
evidence
mad. I'd be
sees
pissed.
it.
I'd be
And what
fired
and you
up.
could tell about one of them, but he knew it was wrong.
Everybody agreed on it.
But he also knew that.
So
What
you
the
knew
rules
You've
going in,
is,
it
also
was
got
happening.
that outside,
cussed
that crazy
about that race.
circumstance for
Yeah.
everything gets
So,
knocked out.
It's one of those
so
things,
he's
you know, dang if you do,
trying to
dang
do
if
what
you
they
don't.
can to save the weekend.
You
know,
So,
that's exactly what he
like I
said.
said, you know, we're not here to bash
could have
anybody.
just
I
as
mean, we're just
easily
talking about it.
canceled
Yeah.
that race.
And
I mean, I plan on going down. He had people from possibly for the Hootenanny, all around
for that
New
big
York
race in March.
come down, everything.
And I'll
in
put it out
Miami.
right here if he hears this.
He could have very
He's
easily
welcome to
canceled
come
that
on
race
and talk to us about everything.
Yeah.
You know,
But he let him run.
And I thought about
can
that.
definitely give him that.
I mean,
but
kudos to him.
yeah.
You can, like we was talking with Zito, you can't please everybody.
And this is something totally random. I did think about something else. I thought about you. You know, a few weeks ago, we hadn't done one.
Will it hurt?
But
Them,
I think it
we hadn't
probably
raced.
I
will.
think
be
it
honest.
will.
The Infamous World.
I looked today.
Did we discuss this last time?
Not that many
I
people.
know I've talked to you about it, but I don't think it was on the podcast.
I
The
don't
last
think
race
we
has
did.
been
No.
pretty much selling out.
The Infamous Worlds was held,
And that
out in
sucks because
Arizona.
it's not
15-year-old
his
kid,
control.
Tater,
He could
got
have
his
last name.
sent everybody home.
Tater's
He
his
could have
name.
said, "All right, it's canceled. Go home." And he
Wins.
said, "Let's get it in anyway."
He bought
Yep.
he had somebody pick up a new computer.
Do you know
or
what
something
radio
from
he was
Summit
using?
and drive down to Warner Robins.
Oh
To
yeah,
try to make it work. Not the
with
M17.
compatible something.
it was an M12.
So not the
You can't be
10PX
mad for that.
But it was an M12.
the same
well,
one
like I
that's
said,
sitting
on
on
the
my
other
table
end,
over there.
M12
Yeah.
If that happened to me,
M12X
I'd be
or
pissed.
M12
Oh, exactly. If it was
I'd be
me and I
sure
just
my-
got beat on that,
So
I mean,
that tells you that you can still do
Especially
something
when the video
maybe not an
evidence
M8
sees it.
but
And what
But
you
that's
can
the
tell
thing, though. I
about
mean, the
one of
radios
them,
are so
he
advanced
knew it was
now.
wrong.
I
But
mean,
he also
realistically, I
knew
could probably
that
do everything with an M11
what the
possibly
rules
even
were-
still,
was-
or the
I
old
think
3PK.
I think maybe
about
that
that
some
race.
of the
Yeah.
So
response
it's one of those
times on
things,
it maybe
dang if you do, dang if you don't.
are slower, not noticeable.
Like I
Move
said,
on.
we're not here to bash anybody.
Me, you wouldn't
we're
notice
just
it, but,
talking about it.
Yeah.
Some pro might.
And
I
plan on going
down possibly for the Hootenanny and definitely for
but
that
as
big
far
race.
as that goes, there's people using
And I'll put it out right here if he hears this.
The Nobles
He's
and all.
welcome to come on.
Well,
And
one of the guys I
talk to
work
us
with
about
swears by his
everything.
Yeah. And I thought about that.
The OB down here's got
But
one.
yeah.
I know Ted.
And this is something totally random. I did think about something else. I thought about you.
You can do it. I mean,
a few weeks ago, we hadn't done one in a few
just so you
weeks.
can play with that curve
But
on the radios.
As far as drag
We
racing
hadn't
goes,
raced.
yeah, it's a big help.
The Infamous World.
I mean,
do we
I
discuss
don't
this last
remember
time?
the 8 having the curve.
I know
but
I've
do
talked
know
to
the
you
11
about it,
had
but I
the
don't think we're
curve.
talking about
I don't think we did. No.
So,
one last thing.
The Infamous
This
World
just came
was
out
held literally when
out in
I was
Arizona.
waiting on Zito to come on. 15-year-old kid.
Oh,
Tater,
breaking news.
Got his
Did
last
you
name.
see the new one RC
Tater's
car?
his name.
The little
Wins.
talking about the little one RC, like late models and the
Yep. Oh, I know what you're
cars.
talking about, but I haven't seen it yet.
Do you know what radio
they put
he was
out
using?
the asphalt.
Oh,
yeah.
asphalt.
Not the
asphalt cars, like
M17.
It was an M12.
Not the
I haven't seen that,
10PX.
but I got all
It's
kinds of
literally
stuff
an
with that
M12.
thing. The same one that's sitting on my table over there.
M12X or M12 something.
Pretty cool. I want one of them
So
also.
that tells you that you can still do something with the old radio.
There's a couple. I don't.
Maybe
There's
not
a
an
couple of
M8,
they're running the.
but
But that's
Not
the
too
thing,
far
though. I mean, the
from us.
radios are so advanced now. This is
I
another.
saw
I mean,
it.
realistically, I could probably do everything with
It's
an
another
M11
very
possibly.
random
But we were
thought
talking about
or
the
the old
3PK
24
I
scale
think maybe that some of the
monster truck.
That was cool.
response times on it maybe
I
are
wonder how a 24 scale drag
slower.
car would do.
not noticeable. I mean,
Well,
I
I
wouldn't
had
work with it
he's
easily.
got
I
one
mean,
too.
you wouldn't notice
He's
it.
got
But,
one.
Oh, does he?
I believe he
Some
does.
pro might would
He's
notice
got.
it.
I'm pretty sure he's got the same one I
Um,
printed off my 3D.
But I mean,
printer.
but as far as that goes, there's people using.
I mean,
the
just kind of
Fleischmans.
retrofit some of the
Nobles and all.
drag slot car stuff.
One of the guys
over.
I work with
Well,
swears by his
I was doing
Fleischmann.
one time, but the
The
file that
OB
you
down
get
here got one. Was for
I know
the
actual
Ted,
Lakes.
I was
truck
racing with
body.
a while. He had one.
Ah.
Remember those?
Yep, I got some downstairs.
You
I
do?
think
I mean,
clear.
And it didn't fit the model.
Just so
that
you
it
can
is.
play with that curve.
So I was
on the
having
radio.
to
as far as
readjust
drag
stuff.
racing
I didn't know a lot of stuff I know
No,
now.
it's a
Anything
big
is that would have been a fairly long
I don't know.
base. So I
And
don't
by the
remember
time I
the
shut one
8
down for
having
like
the
a
curve,
Fox
but I
body,
do know the 11
you
had
couldn't
the
fit anything
curve
in
you could work with.
As far as that,
I do remember this now. I remember you trying to
one
make
last
one fit
thing.
for a Fox
this
body.
just came out.
I mean, I had it fit. It looked
waiting
great.
on Zito to come on.
But and you
Oh,
could, but you
breaking
couldn't
news.
get.
Did you see the
electronics
new
in it.
one RC car?
Like,
You know, the
we
little.
talking about that, and I
I'm talking about,
remember
you know, I'm talking about the little 1RC,
I've
like
seen
late models
YouTube where
and
they've done like the.
Oh,
I know what you're talking
cars,
about, but I
yeah,
haven't seen it models. yet.
yeah. They put out the asphalt. Well, you know that Slot Car Track and Dalton
kinda
asphalt
know.
late model.
They actually have
asphalt,
a funny
asphalt
car,
cars, like
diecast
funny car class today. Well,
Really? I haven't seen that, but I got all kinds of stuff for that today.
They just posted it.
Sounds like have to weigh 500 tons.
I know, right? But
Pretty
anyway,
cool.
I want one of them
Yeah, I
also.
think that's about it.
Unless you got something else.
There's a couple. No, I mean,
There's a couple of.
if we keep riffing, I'll think of something else. But I think
Not
it's
too far
probably
from us.
a good time.
Past my
This is
bedtime,
another
I say
very. It's about mine. That's another very random. My
thought.
iPhone just popped up my Zito, the 24 scale. Monster I got that sleep
That was
mode
cool.
set up.
All right.
I
Well,
wonder
if
how
y'all come down
24
weekend,
scale drag car
we
would do.
when we rain, we can get out and do something.
Well, you know, I had
He's got one too. He's got one.
Oh, does he?
I believe he does. He's got. I'm pretty sure he's got the same one.
Thank you to Zito.
I mean, it's kind of retrofit some of the big thanks to Zito for coming on.
Well, I was doing one time,
but I mean, he makes some killer stuff.
He really
that
does.
You could get
that Jado Pro Stock
was for. I may have to actual. I may have to say about one of those truck Jago chassis from them. Remember those?
Yep, I got some downstairs. I think clear,
and it didn't fit, but the models are good. And that Walburn, so I was having Walburn chassis.
readjust.
Oh, that Walburn just
know a lot of
piqued
stuff
my
I know
interest
now.
so bad. That would have been a fairly long wheelbase.
All right, well, and by the time I shut
next
down
time,
like a Fox body,
this is two guys
you
in
can
one
fit anything
RC
in it.
car. See you later.
As far as
I do remember this now. I remember you trying to make one fit for a Fox body.
Yeah, I mean, I had it fit. It looked great. I'll get it done.
And you couldn't get
electronics.
All right.
All right.
We talking about that, and I remember.
Do I end it in video?
I've seen YouTube where they've done like the video, drift cars. They have the models.
Yeah. Stop record. Well, you know that Slot Car Track and Dalton, they actually have a funny car, diecast funny car class. Well, they're the diecast bodies.
That's like have to weigh 500 tons.
I know, right? But anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. Unless you got something else.
No, I mean, if we keep riffing, I'll think of something else. But I think it's probably a good time.
Past my bedtime.
It's about mine, right? My iPhone just popped up my bedtime reminder. I've got that sleep mode set up.
All right. Well, if y'all come down this weekend, maybe it'll not be rain. It won't be raining. We can get out and do something. All right. Well, I guess that's it. We thank you to Zito. Check him out on RC Mods.
Yeah, big thanks to Zito for coming on.
Yeah, Dynatech RC. He makes some killer stuff.
He really does. That Jado Pro Stock just.
I may have to say about one of those Jago chassis from him. For another Jado. But and that Walburn chassis is
that Walburn just piqued my interest so bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, this is two guys in one RC car. See you later.
See you.
I get it done and I'll edit it. I get it. Do I end it?
End video, I think.
Stop recording.